What's up guys, welcome back to the ShiHai's channel, and today I present to you my Tachikaze Deck Profile. Okay, so if you've noticed that I posted in the last video on how I versus Oracle King Tank and how the deck runs, and I've been playtesting with this deck for quite some time, and then I've playtested against the new decks such as Mega Colony, Spike Brothers, and I feel like this deck is by far one of the strongest decks, and with the new mechanic it offers, it really builds up new possibilities and new fun gameplays that you can do with this deck. So today I'm just going to run through the deck in depth and how Tachikaze is currently topping in tournaments such as like Japan tournaments, in Singapore tournaments. It's topping everywhere because of the new mechanic. Alright, so first I'm just going to go through what is the new mechanic for Tachikaze. So for Tachikaze, there's no more engorge anymore. There is no such thing as engorge. They changed the engorge keyword to gauge instead. G-A-U-G-E. So you can call it gauge, engorge, whatever. I call it gauge. Sometimes I call it gorge because I'm too used to engorge. But basically the gauge is, let's just say you have a rear guard. Let's just say I put this on a rear guard. This is a rear guard circle, and then yes, when the skill allows me to gauge a rear guard, it means you put the top card of your deck face down onto the rear guard like this. So this is considered one gauge. So the gauge can only be looked by the user using the Tachikaze, which means that your opponent cannot look. It's like a binded face down card onto your rear guard circle. So it's like your rear guards have soul, something like that. So you only can look at it. Make sure that your opponent cannot look at it, because only the owner of the gauge or the deck basically can look at what the gauge is. And then when your unit is moved from, let's just say, retired from the rear guard circle, the gauge moves along and gets retired as well. And even a dominating unit, let's just say you would want to play Nubatama against Tachikaze, fine, but when dominated unit dominates, let's just say my grade 3 right here, he or she, the opponent that plays domination, is not even allowed to look at the gauge also. So moving on, that's basically it for the new mechanic, this gauge, and which I will talk about later. There are a lot of cards in this deck that deals with gauge a lot, so just take note. Alright, so moving on to the main deck. So first of all, we run Dragon Egg as a starter because you have no choice. Every standard deck runs Dragon Egg, not Dragon Egg. Every standard deck runs this starter, which is on right, just draw one. It's a 6-kit base, which is not bad. Moving on to the grade 3, so I play 9 grade 3s in this deck. So 9 grade 3s, I feel that after playtesting a lot, is the best combo. So as you can see, I have 4 SVRs, Gigarex here. It looks really good. So the full name for this is Ravenous Dragon Gigarex. It used to be a shitty grade 3, but now it's super strong. The last time grade 3, before the V series appeared, it was just a normal grade 3 and plus 1k for each of your Tachikaze on the field, which was pretty bad. But now it got reprinted into the V format and it looks really good. So if you notice, all my grade 3s have the Excel circle imaginary gift Excel, so you always 100% will get no matter which grade 3 you run into. But obviously Gigarex would be your right target, your optional, not optional, but your main right target. So skill, moving on to the skill, would be when this attacks, you put one card from the top of your deck down as an equip gauge for each of your rear guards, and then this unit gains plus 5k until end of the battle for each of your rear guards. So this is the first skill, is optional, whether you want to put down equip gauge onto your rear guard, whether you want to gauge it or you don't want to. It depends on the skill, which I'll go through later, which units you would ideally want to gauge, while others can just leave empty. And then the second skill is this unit plus 5k for each of your rear guards, which is a really good skill because most of the time people will not guard your Vanguard, in which why I will tell you why I run the triggers later. So because of this plus 5k, and the first skill doesn't require to gauge a rear guard in order to gain the plus 5k for each of your rear guards. It's a full stop that says that does not say if you do. So it's just, you can just put down, you can choose not to put any equip gauge at all and just attack with the Vanguard and plus 5k for each of your rear guards, because it's not the skill say if you do place like at least one gauge, you then eat plus 5k for each rear guard, but no. Alright, so moving on to the second skill, it's basically the purge skill is the cost is you discard 5 equip gauge, which is very hard to achieve, to be honest, in some situations. And then 3 of your front row rear guards gain plus 5k at the end of turn, and if your opponent's damage is 4 or more, you deal 1 damage to your opponent Vanguard. Take note that the triggers still activate if the opponent draw check the trigger, so they can power to either Vanguard or rear guard, whatever. And then the first skill, which states 3 of front row rear guards gain plus 5k, it says 3 because it includes your Excel Circle. Your Excel Circle counts as front row rear guard, so you don't have to power your Vanguard because it says front row rear guards, because your your Vanguard already gains plus 5k with your rear guard, so it doesn't make any sense to power anymore to the Vanguard. And then the 5 equip gauge one is very hard to pull off against decks such as Kagero, because they keep retiring your rear guards with gauge. So if they retire rear guard with gauge, the gauge follows with the rear guard into the drop zone. So it really is hard to pull off, but ideally you still want to ride into him for the first skill, because the first skill is really strong. Alright, moving on to the second grade 3 we're going to see is Deathrex. So Deathrex, full name Tyrant Deathrex, is the second grade 3 we're going to go through, and how it combos so well with this other grade 3. I'll get into the combos later. Vanguard rear guard skill. When it attacks the Vanguard, Soul Blast 1 and retire one of your other rear guards. Choose one of your opponent's rear guards in the front row, retire it. This unit gains 10k until the end of battle for each card in the equip gauge of the rear guard that was retired for the cost. So basically, what you want to do is when you attack, you Soul Blast 1, retire one of your rear guards, choose one of your opponent's front row and retire it, and then this unit gains 10k for the rear guard that was retired, the rear guard's gauge that was retired. So it's really good combo with this card right here. So I'm just going to go through Savage King. So Savage King's skill is basically when you continuous rear guard skill, this unit gains plus 5k for each of your gauge, and then rear guard, the other skill, when it attacks, you may move any amount of gauges from one rear guard to him. So what you want to do for the ideal combo is you ideally want to call him to the Excel Circle. Let's just say Excel Circle right here. I have an Excel Circle right here. Let me focus camera. Alright, I got Excel Circle right here. Vanguard as Gigarex, of course, and then I have one Deathrex right here. And then let's just say I've got a shit ton of gauge right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 gauges on another rear guard, whatever. So basically, putting here. Yeah. Alright, so this is what the combo would be. You first attack with him, which Triceratops. I'll get through his skill later. Assault Dragon. Anyways, after attacking with him, you would want to attack with Savage King. Savage King's skill allows him to move. Let's just say a Vanguard already attack. You ideally want to charge Savage King too, and charge him. So Savage King move all the gauge over. So let's just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 25k. Plus 5k for each of your gauge, and then 25k becomes a 35k because you're on the Excel Circle. 35 plus 12 is a 47, so 47k to the opponent's Vanguard. And then last but not least, Deathrex attacks skill procs because of the Vanguard Vanguard skill. So plus 1 card. You retire, let's just say him. We must retire Savage King. Then when Savage King is retired, the gauge goes along with Savage King to the drop zone, and you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 means that it gains plus 50k because the skill states it gains plus 10k for each of your rear guard that was retired for the cost, the equip gauge. So it gains 50k, so it's 62k beater if it's not on the Excel Circle. So if it's on the Excel Circle, it becomes a 72k beater, which is retarded. So yeah, that's about it. So that's the basic combo, what you want to do in Tachikaze to push the opponent when the opponent's at 5 damage. If you have these 2 cards, you ideally want to keep them in your hand and do not rush your opponent so early. You ideally want to do this at 5 damage. Alright, so that's 4 for the grade 3. So 9 grade 3s, 2 Deathrexes, 3 Savage King, and then 4 Gigarex. Moving on to the grade 2s. So grade 2s, I run 12 grade 2s. 12 grade 2s, very standard. So first grade 2 is your most important grade 2 that you never want to give up or never want it to die. The name is Ravenous Dragon Megarex. So only 3 cards in your deck have the ability to actually retire your rear guards from using skills. So you have this, you have your grade 3 Death Rex, as I said before, this guy right here. And then you have a Grade 1 Sonic Nova, but Sonic Nova's skill is a bit hard to pull off, which I'll get to later. So Mega Rex skill is Vanguard Rearguard. When you attack the Vanguard, you may retire one of your rearguards and draw a card. Then if this unit is on rearguard, counter +1, put a top card of your deck face down as a equipped gauge onto this unit, and this unit gains +5k for each gauge that it has. So what combos you can pull it off, which I'll go through later with some other cards. So this card is just the most important card in the deck. You ideally want to draw him early game. You wouldn't run right into him, you can run into other Grade 2s. This is your main key card in the deck. Moving on to this bloody dragon, not dragon, oh my god, bloody dinosaur, Assault Dragon Bitops. His skill is what gives Tachikaze draw power. Last time Tachikaze used to run like what, 8 draws or something, or 6 draws, 6 crits, but now you can just run full 8 crits because of him. He grants you the draw power skill. When he's retired from rearguard, counter +1, retire up to 2 cards from this unit, equip gauge to your hand. And take note, please take note that this, when it's retired from rearguard circle, does not apply to only on your turn. Let's just say the opponent turn, right, he decides to hit your Bitops. Sure, just and your Bitops has 2 gauge that you really want. Sure, just let your opponent retire him, counter +1, and you need to draw 2 from the opponent god. Because the skill states that when it is retired from rearguard, doesn't have to say, it doesn't state that it must be retired on your turn. So it can be retired anytime as long as it's retired, counter +1, retire up to 2, equip gauge to your hand. So of course it's the unit's equip gauge. So 4 off is a must. It grants you the draw power. And then moving on to Assault Dino, this Assault guy, Assault Mammoth, Attempt Mammoth. Okay, sorry for that. One reason why I run 4 of this guy and not, 2 and 2 of this Savage Raider is because that I feel a Mammoth grants you more, sorry, I shake the cap. Attack Mammoth grants you that pressure. So skill is, during a battle that you attack, it's a rearguard skill of course. During the battle that you attacked, one of your opponents call Guardians from his or her hand, he or she must call 2 at the same time. So it's basically a free version of, what's that called? Battle Dog Fighter. Yes, the Grade 3 card in Nova Grapplers where I've gone through. It's basically whenever your opponent calls a Guardian, he or she must call 2 more, so that's 2 cards off the opponent's hand. And then at the end of the battle that you attack, discard a card from this unit, equip gauge if you cannot retire this unit. So that's basically the cost. You must discard one of the equip gauge on this unit, if not you have to retire him, and it's a 9k base, so that's fine. So I run 4 instead of 2 of Savage Raider. So Savage Raider skill I'll just go through is when it's placed, you may place one of the equip gauge, when placed from hand, you may place one of the equip gauge onto any unit on the rearguard that you choose. And then when the rearguard, when it attacks, you may move any amount of gauge from one rearguard to another rearguard. So it allows you to move gauge around, not just allow Savage King to move. So that's another option you may play. So I just feel that it applies much more pressure, especially with the Mammoth, because I run 8 crits in this deck. So I'll get to, that's one of the reasons why I play 4 Mammoths, to apply more pressure rather than running Savage Raider. So that's that's the reason why I run 4 Attempt Mammoths and no Savage Raider. So that's all for the Grade 2s. Moving on to the Grade 1s. So Grade 1s, I run 12 Grade 1s, pretty standard. So first we go through is Sonic Nova. Sonic Nova right here, this is one of the units that I said that can retire your rearguard. It's only 3 units, not 3 units, but basically, yeah, 3 units in this deck that can actually retire your cards. But Sonic Nova is, skill is a bit hard to proc, which I'll go through right now. Skill for Sonic Nova is when this unit boosts rearguard in the, when this unit boosts a rearguard, you may put a top card of your deck down into the boosted unit's equip gauge. And then Vanguard rearguard skill, when this unit attacks or hits when boosted, you may retire one of your rearguards and then draw a card. So take note that this is must hit a Vanguard. So if your opponent draws that trigger and your rearguards cannot hit, then that's pretty sad, because Sonic Nova skill state that if it hits or hits, attacks or boosted a Vanguard, then you may block the skill of retiring one of your rearguards and draw a card. So please take note. So that's why Sonic No is a 4-off. Moving on to this dragon right here, which is a freaking necessity in this deck, which is called Fierce Claw Lycetrex. Okay, I'm not too sure to pronounce. I'll just, you know, pronounce it as Lycetrex. Yeah, Lycetrex, fine. Skill is when placed from hand, put a top card of the deck as a quick gauge onto this unit. And then skill, when it's retired from rear guard, so +1, return to 1 card from this unit, a quick gauge to your hand. So take note that this skill can proc very well with Mega Rex. So ideally what you want to do on turn 2 is when you ride. So let's just say you ride into Blytops. You may call Lycetrex here. So let's move around a little bit to show you the demonstration. Let's focus the camera. Okay. So when you call Lycetrex from hand, you may put one as a equip gauge. And then after that, you attack with your Vanguard first, you drive check. And then when Mega Rex attacks, skill of Mega Rex procs, you retire one of your rear guards, draw a card, so you retire Lycetrex, draw 1 card, and then this is 1 card from your drive check, let's just say. So you have 2 cards here, 1 from your drive check, 1 from Mega Rex skill. Then Lycetrex skill procs when retired, Soul Blast 1, so you may just let Soul Blast this trigger, fine. Soul Blast this trigger, and then you may return up to 1 card from this unit, equip gauge to your hand, so you return 1 card. And then you may choose to proc Mega Rex skill because it's on the rear guard skill, which is count +1, you put the top deck of your deck into this unit's quick gauge and +5k for each of your gauge, so it's basically a 14k stick. So that's one of the combos you can do on turn 2 to build up your hand if you have no grade 3s, or you're missing a grade 3, you feel that you need more cards to guard for your opponent's next turn, you might do that. And then moving on, I also want to mention that you can pull this combo off with the other grade 1, which I'm going to explain right now, which is called Skytero, if I'm not wrong. Okay, let's put the cards back. Okay, so this Winged Beast, if I'm not wrong, Winged Beast Skytero, Winged Dragon Skytero. So Winged Dragon Skytero. Skill is when this unit is retired from Rear Guard Circle during your turn. So take note that this is during your turn. Unlike Lycetrex and what's the Blytops, right? Lycetrex and Blytops. This is only during your turn. So when this is retired during your turn, call +1, return this card to your hand. So you may just get it back for the extra 10k shield right here. So as I said before, what you want to do is you can do this. You can have Blytops as the Vanguard, call Mega Rex. So this hits first, you get 1 drive check right here. Mega Rex hits, forgot to focus the camera. Mega Rex hits, boosted by Skytero. You retire Skytero, skill counter +1, return Skytero to your hand. Mega Rex skill procs, you draw 1 card. And then you may decide to proc Mega Rex skill counter +1. So that's 2 counter blasts actually. Take note that this deck doesn't have any counter blast power, counter charging power, not counter blast power, but yeah, it has no counter charging power, so you have to take note on what you counter blast, make sure you don't use too much of it. And then yeah, basically you proc Mega Rex skill of counter blast 2, you put 1 gauge, counter blast 1, you put 1 gauge down on this unit and gains +5k for each gauge that it has. So that's about it for the demonstrations of what combos you can do early game. Other than that, let's moving on to the grade 0s, which is triggers. Alright, so triggers wise, as I said, some viewer asked me on Facebook, why do you run 8 crits? So the reason why I run 8 crits, as I said before, is because I run Mammoth, which is basically your pressure in this deck. So 4 draws, 8 crits, and 4 heals. Right here, I'll lay it out. Alright, so as I said, people would want to run 8 fronts, but one reason why I said I want to run 8 crits is because that this deck decks out so fast because of your constant gorging. Every time you have to gorge and then you have to end your opponents fast. You do not end your opponents fast. By the time your opponent reach, like, you know, turn 4, turn 5, you will have most of your deck completely gorged out and you have like 1/4 of your deck left, maybe even less, and depending on how much you gorge. So as I said, to pilot this deck is not easy, obviously, but you need to know when to go gorge and gorge, however, I'm too lazy to actually say it correctly, whichever way you want to say it's fine. But basically, whenever you gorge, you need to think of what to gotch, make sure you down deck out. And sometimes when you gotch, you might gotch into triggers also. So it's pretty sad if you gotch into triggers because there's a lesser chance of you draft checking into one. But it grants you a 15k shield depending on what you want to, which gotch unit you placed it on, so you can draw it back. And then, so moving on back on to the topic of 8 crits, why I run 8 crits, because of the deck out. You have to end your opponent fast. This is why I think they created the skill of Gigarex right here to deal 1 damage to your opponent Vanguard, because this deck has to run fast. It can't play the slow game such as Kagero. You try to play a slow game with Kagero, Kagero will instantly kill you off with Waterfall. Because the concept Force Markers is keep stacking under the Vanguard, it's very big, you cannot get Sentinel, it's very hard. So ideally what you want to do is you try to end your opponent within turn 4 or turn 5 using the Savage King Deathrax combo. It's really strong, and then with the added skill of this doing 1 damage to your opponent's Vanguard, that's why it's supposed to end the game fast. So ideally I would run 8 crits. I would recommend you guys to do so too. You can try play testing it out. Some people, like my friend who plays Tachikaze also, he recommends me to run Rainbow, which is fine I think. If you want to run Rainbow, which is 4 crits, 4 fronts, 4 draws, 4 heals. But I think that 8 crits really do apply that pressure, and then if you don't reveal to your opponent that you run 8 crits during competitions or during just friendly gameplay, your opponents will think, oh, never mind, Tachikaze doesn't have crits, it doesn't run crits, it runs 8 fronts, I'll just no-guys Vanguard. That's one reason why I run 8 crit skill, as I said, because your Vanguard, Gigarex skill, plus 5k for each of your rearguards on the field. So your Vanguard's gonna swing at a massive damage. Let's say you got 5 rearguards on the field, your Vanguard gains 25k, that's a 37k Vanguard to the opponent's face. And then if your opponent's too complacent, thinks, oh, I don't see you running crits, I see you run fronts instead, because most of the time front triggers are better than crits in XL decks. But you can take them by surprise. You'll probably no-guard your Vanguard. You drive check, oh, critical trigger, you crit to your Vanguard, power to the side, to your Vanguard, and then they'll be taken back. They'll be taken back like, oh, you actually run crits in the side rather than fronts. So that's one of the reasons why I run 8 crits rather than just Rainbow or just full 8 fronts. One thing bad about the crit is that when your opponent drive checks, or not drive checks, but when your opponent's damage checks trigger, most of the rearguards can't hit anymore, especially those that are not on the XL circles. They are very hard to hit, but it doesn't really matter because you've got the Deathrax Savage King combo that I just showed you just now, which grants you very high power. But most of the time, when your opponent drives a trigger, it feels bad because most of your rearguards can't hit, because your opponent will be either at 22k or 23k, depending whether they are Force Clans, because Force Clans are 13k base, and it's very hard to hit magic numbers too. So what I recommend is you wanna run Rainbow trigger, it's fine. You get a front trigger so that all your rearguards can hit, including those on the XL circles. That's why some people recommend to run Rainbow, but I still feel that 8 crits is the way to go. So yeah, that's about it guys. Thank you very much for watching. I hope this wasn't too long. I'm looking at the timer now, it's about 23 minutes. I'll probably do more deck profiles, deck reviews, and more gameplays on the different type of decks and how Tachi can counter, how Spikes can counter who, Tachi can counter who, Mega can counter who. I'll do more depending on your preference, so leave your comments down below on what you like to see next, and I'll probably do it. So thank you very much for watching.